Susie Goodwin here. If you're podcast coaching with me, I'm going to recommend Anchor every single time as your host, and here's why. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And then Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You guys, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it quite literally has everything you need to become a podcaster right in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome to Serve Then Sell. This is an album-style show dedicated to network marketing and direct sales professionals who do things differently. This fourth season, or album as we refer to it, is with Erica Rothenberger. She's a leader at Isagenix and mentor to a number of entrepreneurs who are also moms. This album is themed Show Up, and you'll hear us discuss how consistency counts in every area of selling and leading. Welcome, listener, to episode 3 of the fourth album of Serve Then Sell. This album is all about showing up, and I have got expert Erica Rothenberger. You guys, this episode is about how to get out of lows, how to get out of those valleys as we're going through our peaks and valleys. And Erica's going to offer us some mindset advice as well as tactical tips for getting out of that valley, getting unstuck, showing up. Welcome, Erica Rothenberger. I'm so excited to talk to you today about how to get unstuck. How are you doing? Welcome to Serve Then Sell.
Hey, Susie. I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me today.
So, Erica, we have all just undergone a season of adversity. So at the time of this recording, we are in the middle of the COVID pandemic. So can you talk to us a little bit? I mean, that's considered a low, right, for most people. Can you talk to us a little bit about how adversity can affect our business and what our mindset should be?
Such a great question. And whether we're in the season that we are right now with where the world is, or it's 5 years from now and there's something else going on, I believe that peaks and valleys and adversity attacks us all of the time. And it's really our choice. And I've realized that the only muscle that changes that is mindset. But it's like any other muscle. It's like going to the gym and wanting really awesome biceps. Well, listen, you got to go and you got to work it day in and day out. Same thing with your mindset. Same thing of making sure that you're doing things every day to spread that positivity, to make yourself show up the way that you want to. But not to be afraid that some days are going to be better than others. And let's face it, the season that we're all in right now could seem pretty dark and pretty heavy for a lot of us. But during this season, I think one of the best things that we all can do in any season of adversity is to continue to put the positivity out there amongst a lot of people that can really have negative viewpoints of the world right now.
So this is really good advice. I mean, obviously what we're consuming, right? The people that we're exposing ourselves to, the messages we expose ourselves to, it can have a real effect on our mindset. And to your point, Erica, the world's pretty negative right now.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it goes back, Susie, if you really think about it with anything in life, to a scarcity versus abundant mindset. You know, you have so many people in that limited belief mindset and very few people in that abundant mindset who are saying, hey, listen, there's a lot of good that's going to come out of this. There's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of things that we want to change, and let's spread that goodness amongst each other.
This is a really important topic. I mean, so much so that, spoiler alert, listener, we're going to have a whole episode on it. But I want to make sure that we emphasize, I mean, you know, it's kind of, we joke about, is the glass half full or half empty? How do you view that glass? Is there enough for everybody is often how we define abundance mindset.
Absolutely. And some people will see it as the cup, half empty, and some people will see it as the cup half full. And I will say that there's days where the cup does seem half empty to me, but I would say 9 out of 10 times it is half full, and I cannot wait to fill it to the brim. So I give myself grace with those days, and I have techniques of things that I need to do when I get in that mindset. So I don't want anyone listening to this to say, well, there are some days I feel that way, because we all go through it. It's human nature. We do have days that are, we're on fire and cylinders are going on every cylinder is going. And then there's other times where, it just seems like everything's been deflated, and it's truly a test. And we have the test within ourselves, and it's all between, in our head of what we can do, and finding, I know every day I start myself out with a mindfulness mindset book. And it's literally, I can't say that I sit there and meditate for 25 minutes over it, but what I do is I do make sure that I start my day with that intention of whatever that is, and then try to carry it throughout the day.
It's awesome. If you don't mind, I'll give an example. People know that I sell activewear. Okay. I'm with a brand that was relatively unknown a couple of years ago. Like, nobody knew who this brand was. Now we have more active representatives than the original leggings network marketing brand. I mean, like, it's everywhere. So someone who did not have that mindset of abundance or saw the glass half full would say, oh no, the market's oversaturated. I say, you guys, there's proof of concept. I know we have a great product. If somebody has heard of this, their neighbor sells it, this is a good thing for me.
Absolutely. And I think it's like anything. I see that with my nutrition. Everyone needs to eat. Everyone, I would say most people are looking to get healthier and feel better. There's so many people out there. And I think a perfect example is, Susie, how many times have you been walking in a major city and you see 2 Starbucks exactly on the same intersection, and you're like, how are they both there? But because of that, because there's a lot of people that want coffee. And if you have that abundant mindset that hey, listen, the people will come, you can build what you want to build with that mindset.
Now, I know there's somebody listening, Erica, that's like, okay, that's fine and dandy. I get it. Glass half full, glass half empty. But they don't know maybe how to get out of, I lovingly refer to it as a valley. We have peaks and valleys. They're in that valley. They don't know how to get out. Do you have any tactical tips for us?
Absolutely. And Susie, this is what I will say is the two tips that I'm going to give you right now almost seem like they're actually polar opposites. So I may confuse you for a moment, but I promise I'll bring you back together. So one is the ability to stop and pause and reflect. When you feel like you're spiraling, maybe out of control, or that your mindset isn't in the right place, or that you are in that valley, you feel like you'll never be able to get out, is give yourself that time. And when I say that, I don't mean months. I don't mean even necessarily weeks, a day or two, to say sometimes we need to stop and recover, because sometimes our mind just needs that break. And it's very similar to, I know you're such an avid workout, you work out all the time. And they say about your rest days, about how important the rest days are to all of the other days that you're doing work. And that rest day, your body, your mind sometimes needs it in order to get back into action, or in order to accelerate the results. So don't be afraid to give yourself that day off, that time off. And I know I talked about consistency. I'm not talking about taking weeks or, months off. I'm talking about just giving yourself those pockets of time, walking away, pausing, resetting, and coming back to it. In the same breath, it's also about action. I know when I'm in my deepest valleys and I feel that things just aren't flowing the way that it is, it's usually because I'm not following the same action that I have in the past. And there's nothing better with getting back out there, with connecting with people again, with getting that, one sale of leggings or that one sale of, shakes that gets you back into action, Susie, that puts you back in that mindset to say, hey, listen, I'm blessing someone today. I'm helping someone today. And sometimes it just gets, gets the action and everything flowing back again the way that it needs to. So I know those seem like they are opposites of each other, but they're both equally as important. After you take that rest and that pause, getting right back into action.
Amy Ward lovingly says, if you are stuck, put a party on it. Put a party on it. Now, I know people that are listening that maybe don't have a party plan are like, oh, well, I can't put a party on it. It doesn't mean have a Facebook party. It means have some action. By putting a party on it, at least for Zaya Active representatives, that means reaching out to customers, booking, getting excited and scheduling something. Maybe you're theming an event. It's going to be fun times. Now you're connecting with new people. To your point, Erica, that's action, and that's how you get out of that valley.
Absolutely. And I think a couple of key things that I do daily, Susie, just to keep me from getting into that valley too often, is every morning I send out birthday messages. Whoever's birthday it is on Facebook, I go to my birthday list and I send out messages and truly just spread goodness and happiness. Who does not want to hear happy birthday on their birthday with a personal voice message from you? Why do I do that? Because you know what? As much as I know it makes that person feel great, it makes me feel really good that I am putting that confetti or that sparkle in that day. So it's that action, that party, just like we talked, birthday parties, of celebrating other people too, that can put you back in that state of mind.
I love it because it brings full circle the advice that you've been giving us, Erica, in the last episode. Now, people can listen to this standalone. Friend, if you want to do that, I see you. Maybe someone, though, is listening to this masterclass style, all of the episodes at once. You guys, you just heard Erica say consistency is everything in this business.
Absolutely. And don't forget that. Just don't forget to show up in any aspect of your life. And to me, that's the secret sauce to success. It's not that anyone has any other crazy skill sets that you don't have or you're not them. It's just making sure you're showing up and doing the do, even when it's hard, because when that struggle starts to hit you, you start to feel like you're not making the momentum. All of a sudden, it's crazy, the quantum leap of growth that you can experience because of all the seeds you've planted that all of a sudden come to fruition.
Thank you so much, Erica. Show up, guys, to get out of that valley. Show up. Thank you for listening to Serve Then Sell. Album 4 is with Erica Rothenberger, and it's all about showing up for yourself and in your business. We talk this through the lens of network marketing or direct sales. I hope you enjoyed this episode and will pass it on to someone else in the industry who could be blessed by it. You can also go to Erica, that's with a K, ERIKA.servethenSell.com, Erica.servethenSell.com, and you'll see all of the episode notes and resources, everything for this entire album, which can be listened to one by one or all at once as a masterclass. I want to thank Erica again for joining me as the co-host for this album, and you guys remember to show up.